since I'm still waiting on my F550, we're gonna road the Skidder this morning. It's about it's probably about 6 or 7 miles. It's honestly a little further than I like to road them. You know, once upon a time, when I first got out of high school and was cutting logs full time, and Dad, back then we had a 648D with an Esco swing boom. Pretty good sized skidder for the area anyway. I mean, I know there's a lot bigger, but it was a pretty unique skidder with that swing boom grapple. Kind of miss it. We rode the Skidder a lot just because then, you know, it was so big. Dad didn't really have a means to haul it, but we didn't work a long ways from home like we do now. And anymore, it's just as easy for me to throw that thing on there and pull my 550. So we're going to go ahead and road this. That way we can get some wood out, because they're calling for some rain tomorrow night into Wednesday. That time of year, it's not having a log truck and not having my 550s really slowed us down the last 2 weeks. Some things we need to get done, but we'll make it all work. Now we made a little quick stop along the way. We cut this back in right around Christmas. I think we sold these logs Christmas Day, actually. There was a few end trimmings here left on the edge of the field. I was going to bring the skid steer over the first chance I got and get them out of the field, but I got to thinking on the way over here that I could take a little extra time, just swing through the skidder, push them out. Then I went ahead and picked up some small stuff like this, vines. There. Just some vines, little pieces, get them out of the field, because they're going to be ready. I can't believe they haven't got this worked up yet, and this has been on my mind. I've been worrying about this for quite some time. I thought I'd be over here by now to get this stuff out of here, but better late than never. So we got it all slicked up and done. Now we'll head over to the job site. the better burr that I cut. That is a hog. Ground's a little pumpy, or spongy, some people call it. I call it pumpy. It just pumps every time you walk or drag a log over it. We're not having any trouble getting stuck, but the ground's soft when you put a lot of weight on the back of a machine like this. Big one tree drags, it really works it over. We'll have to come back in here with the skid steer and smooth all that up, which won't be a big deal. We still got several logs to drag out.
That thing was a booger to cut. It didn't have a top in it. See, part of the top's right here, just a storm damaged tree. It had a kind of a hard lean to it, but nothing in it. That's kind of why I went about cutting it the way I did. Just trees like that usually aren't too hard to bring down, but whenever they're damaged by a storm, I like to try to salvage what we can out of them. You can see it's still got some good wood in it. It's ash. We're cutting quite a bit of ash down through here. There's a hard leaning maple. We'll see if we can put a hinge in it and bring it down. Now my hinge cutting's far from perfect, but I think that went pretty good. My hinge is a little thin on one side and thicker on the other. Did you see the flying squirrel come out of that tree when it was falling? I caught a glance of him, and he landed in this little sapling right here and took off from there. But there's certain areas we cut over in here. We see a lot of those sugar gliders. We call them flying squirrels. I've caught them before. They're pretty neat. This time of year, you got to really watch what you cut and fall into, because they've usually got little ones. So we try to really pick and choose what trees we cut. Like this old sycamore here a minute ago, I seen a wood duck going in that limb right up there where you see that hole. So along the creek, full of wildlife down here, just like that old hackberry, there's probably a squirrel or maybe a flying squirrel living in that thing. So we always try to be pretty conscious of what we cut and what we do. If I see a tree, it's got a big hole or a den tree in it, generally try to leave it. Just like I said, I don't like to tear up the wildlife aspect of things too much, so we try to be very selective about trees. Coming down to the last few trees of the job to cut, I've got this big ash. I was going to cut that other big oak you see kind of right there directly in front of us, but the back side looks a little ornery. We've cut just some tremendous red oak out of here. They look like water oak, but they're not. We'll take a look at those here after a bit, and that's when Dad and I first looked at them, we kind of figured they'd be it's really more of what we call it kind of a crossbred oak. They get big like these nasty old water oak or pin oak, but they've got a really good color, figure, and grain to them, like a true northern red. We call them a turkey oak. It's kind of what we call them. But we'll look at those when we get to the deck. We've cut 3 of those so far, and I was hoping to get 1 or 2 more cut, but I don't think we're going to get as lucky with those 2 there. They're just a little too ornery. Of course, that pin oak you see there, it was dead in the top when we fell in ash the other day, and I think Friday or Saturday's video, we busted that up. We'll try to cut it and take a log out as well just to salvage it. So we'll get this big ash down. We've got a strong southern wind pushing today, pushing that storm in. We'll see if we can put a hinge in it. We're going to try to take it right out in there is where we're going to try to go with it. I think we'll just push this with the skidder. I don't want to be cantankerous. I was hoping one of these strong gust of winds would go ahead and help us take it over, but it's wanting to hang tough. Out of pure fear, it went ahead and fell right where we wanted it to go. I'm not sure what the holdup there was. Other than it probably didn't want to go that way. Well, that's another part of the farm in the books. Right there, that's all we're going to cut out. Which it's really not that big of a little corner right there, because there's another landowner that kind of goes adjacent over there, then the creek's right out there. So all in all, quite a few logs come out of there. Some hickory, some ash, nasty water oak, pen oak. Water oak, pen oak, different people call it different things. There's one lone maple in here I cut this morning somewhere. I think I filmed that. Some bur oak. Of course, most of the bur oak are down there, which we've got a different outlet for a lot of this stuff. These logs are all being merchandised out. Here's kind of what I'm proud of right here, these red oak, which these here will turn this color here because they're just now getting out. The air's starting to hit them. They're starting to dry out. We bucked these this morning. Real good color of log. Good growth rings. Just pretty much a true northern red. And we don't get a lot of that stuff down here in my part of the world. Most of what we have is black oak. This butt log here I cut. I think this was the first tree I cut on the job last week. Good tight bark on it, just an outstanding log. Of course, this big guy here, a little more coarse bark on it. Older growth tree. When I cut that, I thought that, I figured it'd be bad. I really did in the butt, which, see here. Just a good solid sound old log. See, this is the end of one of those logs there. Got a good color to it. Here's where I stuck it with the blade, pushing it into this pile. Yeah, for us, we don't get a lot of what we call true northern red. A bit ago, see Dad, he's he's on out there right now. He's getting ready to head in. The wind's picking up something awful, so we finished this up just the nick of time. But before Dad left, before we got ready to call it a day, I guess you'd say, I asked Dad what he thought was hearing footage. Of course, I kind of just eyeballing, and I kind of shot off 1,100 feet. Dad said, well, there might be a little more than that. So I got out my phone with the Timber Tracker app, and we went through here and scaled these up real quick using Doyle rule. 1,497 board feet. So these trees, or these logs, should I say, because it's pretty much one tree, two tree, then another one. There was some top logs we were running with the blocking stuff, but so pretty much you're running about 300 feet of log average, which is a pretty healthy stick of wood. Guys, it's kind of a 2-day video. Trash. Some from yesterday and some from today. So with the weather coming in tonight, see the wind kind of blowing an Allen, which I'm sure you can hear it in the phone. It's pretty evident that we're going to get rain, and they're talking some severe weather, wind, thunderstorms, possibility of tornadoes. So tomorrow's kind of up in the air. Who knows what we'll do yet? I'm sure we'll do something. I just don't know what. Might be a good day to sit around and dream about cutting logs. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what the weather does. One thing about it, if it rains much in here, this field will be a loblolly, which I just seen them bring the tractor in now. So they're getting ready to start working around for means. So we've got to get these logs out of here, which I'm still waiting on a F550. And the Mac is not 100% yet, so kind of makes things tough. Guys, we'll see ya. Well, look here. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.